Keeping venomous reptiles is an unforgiving hobby, requiring proper training and lots of experience. One simple mistake can be the difference between life and death. Remember, the most venomous snake in the world is the one that just bit you. There are no venomous snakes with training wheels. Just because you see viperkeeper handle snakes a certain way does not mean you should try it too.
Now this big female blue insularis, which is just a variety of the white-lipped pit viper or the insular pit vipers, Cryptolytrops insularis. She's been off feed. For the entire year that I've had her, she's been a really good feeder. And now all of a sudden, starting in probably September, October, and it's gotten worse, is she's off feed and not feeding very much. And her belly does seem to be quite distended, whereas the male, who's hiding back here, let's see if I can do this without getting killed. Yeah, she's not interested in me going into her habitat, but the male is back there, and I haven't seen mating behavior, but hopefully he has done his stuff, or she perhaps has some sperm left over from last year's breeding that she employed this year, but time will tell. We shall see. Well, hello to you. This is the second smaller male Cryptolytrops insularis, Sunda Islands, Indonesia pit viper. They come in many forms. Yellows, greens, turquoise, blue, of course. Just really stunning snakes. Foul, but stunning. Female is hiding under there, and we've got the larger pair down below. I'm hoping the female is gravid. If I had something the right size, I could offer him something to eat, but he's a picky eater. I have to annoy the crap out of him in order to get him to bite and hold. And then he happily sucks it down, but until then, he just won't even bother. I'm sure he's surprised that we left him alone and I didn't molest him. Well, I'm just feeding these insular pit vipers, and the female is still quite hungry. She grabbed the male, but I got her loose and got her to release and gave her something to eat. I don't see any blood on the male, who's very smartly moving around the corner, because she's all of a sudden came on to feed again. Yeah. Huh? What do you see? Is that you? Huh? Blue insularis cam. All of a sudden she's decided that she's hungry and needs to eat, and now I'm a little bit worried that she may decide that the male is a reasonable dinner. Huh? Do you want me to get you some more? She ate yesterday, she ate now, she poked herself. The blood that you see on her chin is she poked herself with one of her fangs. And this is Cryptolytrops insularis. These are from the lesser Sunda Islands in Indonesia, commonly called Komodo insularis, where they're also found, but theoretically, as far as I can tell, and as far as the Indonesian government knows, that these did not come from Komodo. There's honestly really no way of knowing if they did or they didn't, other than take some DNA and compare it to Komodo's population and one of the other island populations. But these were legally imported from Indonesia. sanctioned by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. We got the paperwork, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife 3177 form, saying that they were legally obtained and brought into the country. She hadn't eaten in months, and all of a sudden, starting last week, she just came on with a vengeance. The male is a sporadic eater, of course. I tease feed him and get him to eat a couple of fuzzies on like every week or two. Now I have my hook handy, not for defensive purposes, it's just that I don't want her to do any funny business with the male. I don't really want to remove the male from the cage. Yes, I know you see movement, sweetheart, so just pretend the male doesn't exist. I don't want to dissuade her from eating because I could hit her with the water gun and she wouldn't like that, but I don't want her striking and eating the male because it's one of two males. I have 2 males and 2 female adults, and I don't want that number to get any less. I've got 5 babies left over from the last brood last year. Leave him alone. He is not food. He may taste like food, but he is not food. Here. Can I get your attention with the camera? Huh? Just pretend he's not here. Hey dude, you don't need to be moving around so much. Hey, leave him alone. I told you, leave him alone. Come on, over here. The food is over here. Come here. Oh boy. Yeah, you big bitch. You leave me alone. I'm trying to swallow my food. These guys definitely have spirit. I just don't want them to spirit on each other. Leave them alone. Hey, what did I tell you? Are you okay, dude? Huh? You're coming out for now. Huh? I don't want you to become a meal. What I'm going to do with you, I don't know quite yet. I think you will go into a bin temporarily. You're still very cranky. You stay right there. I'll get you something more to eat. Boy, she's foul. Well, I rehomed some Cryptolithrops insularis, the blue babies. This guy here, and shed. This one just shed. They always get this whitish cast when they're going to shed. I put them all together. They're all siblings. The unrelated ones are still in their bins. Oh wait, I did put an unrelated. Yeah, I did put an unrelated one in here. Maybe I don't want to do that because I'll lose track of bloodlines. At any rate, they're in here. Sort of unhappy with the prospects at the moment, but they'll get used to it. Well, here we are again, huh? really interested in feeding, huh? You're a problem, boy. Huh? You're a problem. He just refuses to eat. Now, are you going to be good and assist feed, or do I have to force feed you? Huh? Come on. Come on, open your mouth. Well, good. It looks like you're going to eat that on your own. Hi, I know. Well, the alternative is me forcing it down your throat, which isn't fun at all for either one of us. I'll get a second one. Ready? Well, go ahead and eat. Go ahead. He's watching me. Ugh. Just like a parent. As soon as the parent turns his head at the dinner table, or her head, child spits it out and or hides it in a napkin, or puts it on the floor, feeds it to the dog, or whatever. That's the look I'm getting from this little male rhino viper here. Go ahead. You're doing good. You're doing good. We're going to piggyback this one in if we can. Good boy. Wow, you even turned towards the camera. That's awesome, huh? Well, that's good. I'm not going to bother you anymore. No. No, I'll put you back in your cage now, okay? Alright, you got a full tummy for the week? Hey, girlie, you can eat that. Come on, bud. Easy. Easy. Come on. Oops, come on. You're a little tail heavy here, dude. There you go. You're back and you're done. They know it's feeding day. Yeah, the question is how to feed them without them biting one another. These are the hoobos. Oops, anybody's going to go off at a trigger. Oh! They're snapping at the light as a heat source. At least they're not, didn't bite each other. All right, well, this will be a very tricky thing, trying to feed them. The elegant pit vipers over here prefer to have cooler temperatures, and that's what this sort of cage temporarily provided. I have this cage prepared, which has got sort of a warm spot, not a hot spot. It's about 80 degrees over there. And a cool spot, which has no heat, which it should be okay for them. Gives them a little bit more room, a little bit of ability to climb if they're so inclined. I think these are more of a terrestrial Protobothrops from China. So they come in a huge variety of colors and stuff. Okay, let me get the male first because he's more interested actually in feeding. It's pretty unusual. Now come on, don't climb the hook. Oh, hello.
Yeah. Jeez, right in my face.
Yeah, come on. There you go. Here you go. That'll slow you up. Oh wait, it's our furniture. How did it get here? Now, the male is on loan to me from my friend Kim. Supposed to be breeding with the two gals here. No biting, no snapping, please. But thus far, I've not seen any breeding activity. Come on. They come in a variety of colors and stuff. Really a very interesting, very cool species to keep. As with any Protobothrops, you really don't want to get nipped by them. These will give you the classic cytotoxic and hemorrhagic type bites, which are usually the most excruciating. Come on, come on. Easy, easy.
Let's not visit with Mrs. Viperkeeper, thank you very much.
Okay, easy, easy, easy. This is how the guy in India got nailed by the Russell's viper. One has to be very, very careful when tailing any venomous snake. No, leave her alone. She's your cage mate. When tailing and even hooking, if you're not completely focused on the situation and experienced, it's sort of like a poker game. You have to know when to hold and when to fold. And even that's not going to prevent an accidental bite. That's why the best way is to not handle them at all. But that is impossible if you're keeping them in captivity. You know, if they hook really well, that's the easiest and safest way. You can two-hook them. They'll usually do that. However, Protobothrops and Bothrops are very flighty snakes, as well as a lot of the elapids, and don't hook well. So in order to keep them from sliding under furniture and stuff and getting into places that make it really more difficult to extract, one has to resort to either using the gentle giant tongs, which really freaks the snake out, or hooking and tailing so you have a firm grip on the snake, and hopefully it won't come up and bite you. But you have to be ready to release that snake in a heartbeat to prevent the snake from coming up and snagging your fingers. Okay, so it's a little dark in that corner, which they'll like. One of them is already in there. I got a hide spot on the warm side of the cage, one on the cool side. We'll let them find their own temperature they're comfortable with. we'll see how they do.